The New York Mets made their first bold offseason splash since owner Steve Cohen took control of the team in November, acquiring star shortstop Francisco Lindor and veteran starting pitcher Carlos Carrasco from the Cleveland Indians for young infielders Andres Gimenez and Amed Rosario along with 2 prospects. Who won the deal? How do the Mets stack up with the rest of the National League's best after adding Lindor? And where does Cleveland go from here? ESPN MLB experts Alden Gonzalez, Kylie McDaniel and Jesse Rogers answer those questions and more. Rogers: You have to ask? It's a home run, in large part because there's an immediate assumption Lindor will sign a long-term contract in New York before he is scheduled to hit free agency after next season. That's why sending back a couple of middle infielders to Cleveland was an easy decision for the Mets. They're no longer needed. And don't discount the inclusion of Carlos Carrasco in the deal. He fits right into a contending rotation. If Lindor doesn't stick around, the deal gets downgraded to AC+, but overall this gives the Mets a face to their franchise and makes them a true contender in 2021. McDaniel: I'll join the chorus of obvious takes here. The Mets were in an enviable position, one of few teams in the league that have lots of money to spend to upgrade a roster when lots of teams aren't really trying to do either thing. They turned 5 years of control of a solid young shortstop in Gimenez into, pending a likely extension, something like 10 years of Lindor, who will likely be better than Gimenez for most if not all of those seasons, for something like an increased cost of $20 to $30 million a year. It's a slam dunk for a team in the Mets' position, and the cost was to be forced to take a basically market value deal for Carrasco, when they were already looking at veteran starting pitchers on the free agent market, Rosario, who needed to go to a second division type team to get playing time to see if he'd reach his potential, and 2 prospects recently chosen 53rd and 69th overall. That's basically a rounding error for a contending, big market club to get a new face of the franchise for the foreseeable future. Gonzalez: It's an A. They got Francisco freaking Lindor. He's the perfect face for the Mets' sudden emergence, the ideal personality for a market like New York, and a star who could make every bit as much of an impact as the